Welcome back. This is Greg with SportsRehabExpert.com. Today we're going to be going over some alternatives that are cheaper, a little bit more useful for you to do at home or in the gym or in a fitness facility for a replacement for the Tib Bar. Now, the Tib Bar has become more and more popular, but it is expensive for a lot of people to go out and purchase one right off the bat. So I'm an advocate for trying and utilizing these methods first before you go out and purchase a Tib Bar. Furthermore, when I work with somebody, it's a little bit more on the rehabilitation side, getting someone back from pain. As a result, you tend to find people who have a lot of asymmetries. So when you look at working the tibialis, finding those asymmetries, doing a unilateral exercise becomes a little bit more useful to train that asymmetry out of somebody, but also as a diagnostic tool to help see if someone's one side is weaker than another and you may need to train up one side more than another. So again, that's where all these versions I'm going to show you here are unilateral ways of working the tib anterior. The Tib Bar is a bilateral tibialis exercise, meaning you're going to use both feet. And a lot of times if people have an asymmetry, you can't necessarily catch that because they can make up for it by one leg flexing a little bit harder than the other. So again, that's where I feel the unilateral exercise has a little bit more value, especially from the rehab standpoint. Even in getting into sports performance, you can make that argument as well too. But if you're really going for hypertrophy and getting later on into someone's program and you've teased that asymmetry out, then certainly you could invest more into getting a Tib Bar at that point in time. Use a strap that has a clip at the end that allows you to slide it underneath the dumbbell and easily cinch right up to the foot and tighten it down very quickly. This is perhaps one of the simplest setups, and a variety of companies make this, but if you go to the Slantboard guys webpage or just Google Slantboard tibialis strap, you should be able to find this. Again, a lot of other heavy industrial moving equipment make these type of straps with the sliders and the clips to them, as well as if you're in a physical therapy clinic, most physical therapy clinics have a gait belt. Gait belt works just as well. So as you can see, a pretty similar setup. Biggest thing with the strap is you want to make sure that it's attached in the middle of the foot. The nice thing about the strap, it actually lends its hand to when you get tired and fatigued. So if you're trying to do a burnout set and it's harder to lift the leg back up, eventually towards the end you can use that band as a little bit of an assist to pull back up on the foot and help you get back up to this top position, and then continue performing eccentrics on the way down to get a few more reps out of the exercise and just train a burnout set. Thicker mini bands. Rouge makes a great quality thick mini band that has quite a bit of tension to it, so you can easily set the dumbbell up on the foot using this thick mini band by Rouge. Now when you do this, you'll turn the dumbbell perpendicular to your foot, and you want to put the strap on your toe first, just because it's easier to pull backwards onto your heel. You'll put it underneath the dumbbell and then just make sure the dumbbell lines up with your toe. This will make more sense when you get into the exercise, but the more you can keep the dumbbell higher up on your foot, the better you'll feel the tibialis working with this exercise. So very easy to set up. And as you can see, very easy to get into the tibialis. The weight pulls it down and gets that full eccentric loading, constant resistance through the whole movement, as opposed to using a TheraBand where you'll just get that peak resistance at the top and you won't get any resistance at the bottom. So using a TheraBand for the tibialis is just about useless. Always use a dumbbell when you're training this muscle group. The one negative to this is just you'll notice as you have the dumbbell on there, it starts sliding down further and further, especially the heavier dumbbell you go. Final option that you have is getting a kettlebell attachment for dumbbells. This works well for a lot of home gyms. This is what I have at home. You got to be careful of the dumbbell size and the width of the grip. The wider the grip, less likely it's going to fit into this, but I personally like this one because it has a wide bell. A lot of the typical kettlebells that you'll find in gyms, the lighter the weight that you go, the narrower the bell handle is, and it's not as wide, so you can't fit it on top of your foot. This one is made by Yes For All, and it works well to just slide on top of the foot here. And again, you'd be performing the same exercise but it gives you a nice resistance through the full range of motion with that kettlebell handle. Again, a lot of times with the true kettlebells that you'll find in the gym, again, the lighter the weight that goes, the more narrow the handle becomes and the less likely you can fit it on your foot. So when you buy one of these kettlebell attachments, if you choose to go that route, just make sure it's big enough to fit on your foot, as well as the grip is wide enough to fit your dumbbells that you have at gym or at home.